Kishane Thompson is no longer just one of the world's fastest men. He is now officially a phenomenon. Because somewhere between the last Olympics and now, he has turned into such a thing where whenever he runs, people make it their business to pay attention. And I am one of those people. Because at the World Indoor Tour, in his first indoor race of his career, I made it my business to get up incredibly early in the morning, at least in America, to watch both the semifinal and the final. And yes, I have some thoughts. And in case you're wondering, yes, he did win the event, but it did not go how anybody thought it would. To set the stage, just the week before, he ran 6.48 seconds, at least that's what they told us, into a minus headwind of 2.1 meters per second. That is incredibly fast, and did go down as the fastest time in the world this year, which isn't that shocking when you remember he ran the fastest time in the world last year in the 100-meter dash, which is why people were surprised when he didn't cross the line in front during the Olympic final, even though 5 thousandths of a second is really the reason why, and Noah Lyles. And I also have to add this part for context, because in that Jamaican race where Kishane Thompson ran 6.48 seconds, once again into a minus headwind, they also told us that Kishane E. Banks, a name that nobody was paying attention to up until now, ran 6.54 seconds. So when we got to the meet in Astana, Kazakhstan, the first indoor track and field race that Kishane was ever going to run, both men were on the starting line, and in the semifinals, if we're focusing on Kishane E. Banks, he did not make the final. This is a final where you only had to run 6.8 seconds to get on the starting line, and he couldn't pull it off. I have nothing more to say about that. I'll just let the comment section handle it for now. As far as Kishane Thompson's 60-meter semifinal goes, he won that heat in 6.58 seconds, which is a tenth of a second slower than 6.48. I'll get to why in a moment for both the semifinal and the final, because you kind of already know where this is headed. He didn't run all that fast in either race. But what does matter is who else was in the field. Demek Kemp of America was in the field. That is a man who's run as fast as 6.50 seconds in his career. Granted, his fastest over the last 4 years is only 6.55 seconds. Demek Kemp was out in front through the 40-meter line in that race. Kishane Thompson had to run him down just to win that heat. And Ali Anwar Al-Balushi of Oman was also in that same heat. When he was in the final, he actually got second overall. And his personal best is apparently 6.50 seconds himself. So what I'm trying to say is these are, for the most part, professional indoor runners, even if these are names that you don't really recognize. To be real with you, the only other man on the starting line that most track and field fans might be familiar with was Andre DeGrasse of Canada. But let's be real, he's very well known for sprinting, but not necessarily for sprinting in the 60-meter dash. Even when he was in college, he wasn't winning that event, so it's really not a surprise that he didn't finish top 3 here in the final. I also left something out about Demek Kemp. I do apologize. He was the defending champion from this specific meeting, the Astana, Kazakhstan meeting, last year in 2024. So that does count for something. Now let's get to the Kishane situation in depth. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. In the final, the time that they gave us is 6.56 seconds. And if you need perspective on that, because most people do, we don't follow the 60 like that. There are college kids right now through December and January who run faster. I'm just going to give you one. Johnny Dwyer of Penn State is a college freshman, and he ran 6.55 seconds in his first collegiate final. That was in the month of December, and later Barnabas Agur, who runs for an NAIA program, not even NCAA D1, ran 6.52 seconds in the 60-meter dash, he does compete for Ghana, and is old enough where he certainly could be on the pro circuit. So, that said, it is what it is. But it gives you a comparison note to note the quality of the race that we just witnessed. Kishane Thompson had never run indoors up until this point. And indoor track and field is so much different from outdoor track and field that they're the reason why at the college level, they basically consider them to be two separate sports with their own championships. The event structures aren't exactly the same, the track itself isn't the same, many of the dynamics around it aren't the same. The only thing that is the same is that there will be a gun, there is a starting line, and you gotta get to the finish line first. Kishane Thompson pulled that part off, which is what matters most. But the narrative around Kishane Thompson, the one that had been building from the Jamaican national trials all the way up until now, is that he is the fastest man in the world. And after the 60-meter dash that they told us about last week, everybody is expecting, when he touches the track, to put down times that nobody else in the world can run. That's putting a lot of expectation on one man. But he's also one man who looked like he could handle those expectations. The only real question that remains now is, what does this race mean going forward? Because we don't know if we're going to see Kishane Thompson at the World Indoor Championship meet. Last year, Christian Coleman and Noah Lyles showed up, and they were both capable of running 6.4 low. I do believe that with a full indoor season, Kishane Thompson could run those types of times. He might even touch 6.3 from what I can tell. But indoor track and field, specifically the 60-meter dash, is a little bit different than the 100. Christian Coleman can tell you that. If you really want to win anything indoors, you do need to make it a priority. But we do need to stop the narrative that winning indoors does not have any correlation with what happens outdoors. Remember, last year in the 60-meter dash, I don't even have to go further back in history. The three men who went 1, 2, and 3 at the World Indoor Championships were Christian Coleman, Noah Lyles, and Akeem Blake. If we just focus on the brief history of their careers, like the most recent years, Christian Coleman is a world champion from 2019, but we're pushing that back. He's the Diamond League champion from 2023. And within the Diamond League final, and if I remember correctly, got second. The only reason why he wasn't running the 100 at the Olympics is because we sent the Avengers in the short sprint to represent Team USA. Somebody had to get left off the team in the 100, and it happened to be him. And there's absolutely no reason for me to pretend to fill you in on what Noah Lyles has done between last year's World Indoor Championships, where he got a silver medal, all the way up until now. Because the one race where everybody had to run in the 100-meter dash, he was in front. I rest my case. And Akeem Blake, who wasn't in that Olympic final, was in the Diamond League final. The same final where Christian Coleman was the defending Diamond League champion, and he emerged as the victor. So yeah, the 60-meter dash actually matters. The only thing I'm not aware of up until this point is, does the 60-meter dash matter at all to Kishane Thompson going forward? Because now that he's run indoors and done it at the pro level, he kind of knows what to expect. 6.56 and 6.58. That's where we're starting the negotiations from. With more training, he will get faster. But under those conditions, what are we really expecting? 6.4? 6.48? 6.45? 6.43? Because people have been talking about world records every time they bring up his name. And when he touches the track, he knows that is now going to be the expectation. But in the eyes of a casual track fan, it's even more than just running fast times. You're supposed to be in the front of the race during the one race that you actually need to run, which is always the 100-meter final. And this year, it will be at the World Championships, which is another competition that he had actually never run in. If you go back to 2023, he was not on the starting line. That said, he had better do whatever he thinks he needs to do, whether it's running indoors or not, to be ready for that final. Because in the sport of track and field, if you're not in first place, at least to a casual track fan, notice I said that part. You might as well be in last, and that's that. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.